Welcome everyone to another week, another edition of the Focus TV, Season 6, Episode 21. We're joined by Octavia Wyatt, Raymond Lyons, Cardell Dudley Jr., I'm Wilson Tarpe Jr., and again, welcome to the Focus TV. Got a lot to get through tonight, probably be extended round of rapid fire, just to give you guys a quick heads up. Uh, Look, man, the playoffs been crazy. We're going to get straight to it. There's no reason to delay at all. Um, we get this up here for everyone. Look, last night the Lakers took a 3-1 lead over the Warriors in Game 4 of their series. The Suns went back home down 2 games. They're going to Denver tonight with the season tied at 2 apiece. In the East, Miami holds a commanding 3-1 lead over the Knicks. And then in Boston and Philadelphia, that series tied at 2 apiece. Game 5 is happening as we're recording this. Philly's up by 13 at the moment. That said, we'll start with Ray, then Octavia, then Cardell. Just your thoughts on what's happened since the last time we spoke to everybody on about the NBA playoffs.
I'm gonna start with the game that's going on right now because honestly, this series could very well be over. But Boston pretty much gave two away. They lost one without to the 76ers without Embiid game one, and then game four, Jalen Brown went down to double on Embiid. He found Harden in the corner, and Harden hit him with another game winner. And now Philly's taking it to Boston. So unless they turn around, they could find themselves on the brink of elimination. I gotta say I'm kind of disappointed in the Celtics, man. They were looking like one of those teams that had a claim to to be a contender for the title, and they're kind of squandering their opportunity. Um, Even if they get out this series, it's going to be a whole lot bloodier than than what it needed to be. And the playoffs is a time to make statements, especially when you're trying to get a ring. So, so yeah, man, I feel like they're not maximizing their potential, and they just making their life harder than it should be. The Heat and the Knicks, the Heat just outplaying them, plain and simple. Um, they're down, like their bench is depleted with Oladipo and Tyler Hero out. Doesn't matter. Coach Spo continues to make adjustments. Jimmy Butler continues to be Jimmy Butler. Um, man, we got to talk about what Kevin Love has done to lift them in the playoffs. People done counted that man out. He was left for dead in Cleveland. It's amazing what happens when somebody puts you in a position to succeed and allows you to do what you're good at. Um, but yeah, the Knicks in trouble. I expect this one to be over in Game 5. Their body language isn't good. They're just getting outplayed on the court. They're getting out hustled, uh, and they just have no answer. Only person I really see that's continuously fighting is Jalen Brunson. Um, the way we saw them bully the Cavs in the first round, that's non-existent here. Miami, but that's that's their nature. They're a hard-nosed, gritty team, and they're the bullies. They don't get bullied, and that's what we're seeing here. Phoenix and Denver. A lot of people was talking real crazy about that series. And look where we are, tied up 2-2. That's it's going to be interesting to see how this one works out. So it's a best of three now. Good thing is Denver got home court advantage, but you want to get rid of a team that has KD and Devin Booker on it as soon as possible. And they really squandered opportunity by not at least grabbing one in Phoenix, and now they got to fight for their lives as well. So we'll see how that continues to play out. Denver's depth looked like it was an issue in those first 2 games, but yeah, like I said, man, Phoenix got 2 supernovas on their team. That's hard to deal with, and we'll see what adjustments they make for the rest of that series. But now it's a coin flip. When you could have took a really aggressive stance and gone back to Denver up 3-1. Now it's a clean slate. So they put themselves in this position. Let's see if they can dig themselves out. And Lakers Warriors. Uh, I'm just thoroughly impressed with the Lakers defense. That's what's gotten in this 3-1 lead. I hope people have the same energy for Anthony Davis that they have when he doesn't play well when he's injured, because what he's been doing on the defensive end of the ball, like I'm not even concerned with the offense, but the way he's disrupted everything for them on defense, man, it's invaluable. And without it, who knows what this series looks like? Um, yeah, so it's going to be interesting to see how the Warriors respond. I mean, I imagine they're going to come out game 5 and try to blow the Lakers' doors off by 30. If they'll be able to do that, we've yet to see. But yeah, man, the Lakers they've been taking it to them. They've been using their size. They had a couple guys step up. Lonnie Walker the last game, fourth quarter. Man, that's just a clutch performance from him. They just had a lot of guys playing well outside of AD and LeBron. Because you know what they're gonna give you. They're two of the best players in the league, and you just gotta try to limit the other folks. But guys have been stepping up. The Warriors, man, this is not the typical Golden State team we've seen when they had their dominant runs. Um, they, I guess, for lack of a better word, they look a little more mentally fragile than normal. Making mistakes that's not characteristic of them. Um, but yeah, man, they had opportunities, especially last night. But they just weren't able to capitalize, and we're here now. And as exciting as it is when they're bombing from three, it's equally as detrimental when those shots aren't falling. Those terrible looks with 17 seconds in the shot clock, you shooting a 29-footer. That shot doesn't go in, man. That's putting your team at a disadvantage. With the Lakers size advantage and them killing them on the boards. You can't afford to do that. So yeah, man, we'll see if they can clean that up and make this a series. But as it looks now, Lakers in a great position to close this thing out. We'll see if they can get them up out of there.
All right, Octavia.
Yeah, I think one theme in this whole playoff series for pretty much not everybody, but a lot of the teams is it's been a lot of mental lapses for some of these teams that are supposed to have more veteran presence than other teams. You see the lapse of judgment with the Celtics. You just talked about the Warriors, the shot selection at times. It's just been all over the place for some of these teams. So like you did, I'll start with the game that's on now, the Celtics and the Heat. Yeah, the Celtics have been kicking themselves ever since, in my opinion, since the playoffs started. Um, they let it go too long with Atlanta as it was. They lost the first game of their series with no Embiid. They're letting James Harden look like James Harden's from 25 years ago. I mean, dropping 40 plus, and to me, it's just so mind boggling when he's on like that, how you guys are constantly leaving Al Horford on him when the game is on the line. You're leaving him when the game is on. Like, I don't understand the thought process that's happening. The mental lapses that they're having in this series is terrible. And outside of those mental lapses, they should have won this series already. That's the crazy part about it. Um, with Joel Embiid coming off the LCL injury in his knee and not playing the way we've seen him play. I mean, the last time before the series that he played against the Celtics, he dropped 52, and he hasn't been himself, and they still haven't been able to get the game and win the games that they needed to. And even though they've played as bad as they've played, they've been right there in every single game. So to me, that's got to be disheartening. Yes, a lot of people are going to harp on the rookie head coach's decision not to call a timeout in the last game, which we all would probably agree with. That wasn't probably the greatest idea, but it is something he's been doing all season, so it didn't surprise me. It just sucks that that's how it went down. And granted, part of it is on the coach, but if you also watch it, it took them forever to even get the ball up the court. I don't know what they were doing. I don't think they knew what they were doing, which is why I felt like in that moment the coach probably should have called a timeout, because you should be able to look at them and tell them they don't know what they're doing at this point. We need to get a good shot. So, um, on the other side, I mean, James Harden, like I said, is playing like it's 25 years ago at this point. Maxey is having a good series as well. He's killing them tonight. Out the gate, he's shooting the ball they're just doing everything. And it's going to be a tough series. If they lose this one, it's going to be tough. Only thing that I have faith in is that they did this last year. Unfortunately, they went down 3-2 against the Bucks and they were able to pull it out. But you don't want to put yourself in that situation, especially going back to Philly down 3-2 and having to rely on you guys to win that game. So we'll see how that shakes up. It looks like they're starting to come alive. And Jason Tatum has just been MIA for majority of this series. He needs to get it going. He needs to be scoring. Jaylen Brown is basically doing everything he possibly can to keep them in the series, but he needs Jason Tatum to step up and help as well. Other East series, yeah, the Heat and the Knicks is over. The Heat has just been punking them this entire series. They've been inside of Julius Randle's head all game, all series. He can't, excuse me, he can't just play a complete game. He has his moments when he plays well, but then when he doesn't play well, you can see it really affects him. And then with Emmanuel quickly also being out, he didn't play in the last game, and then he was in a walking boot. I doubt he plays this game unless something miraculous happens. It's just over for them at this point. The Heat is just out toughing them. Like you also brought up Kevin Love. I was probably one of those people that wrote him off as well. But he's definitely been a key piece for them since he's come over in a trade from Cleveland. And they're just toughing it out, like you said, with no Tyler Hero, no Victor Oladipo. Max Strus, Caleb Martin, and Gabe Vincent are all giving them good minutes and good points, as well as Kyle Lowry still coming off the bench and leading the second unit. And Bam is playing as bad as I talked about how Julius Randle is playing. Half of that, if not more, is because of the defense that Bam is playing on him. So yeah, that series is virtually over. I don't expect it to go past the next game. Nuggets and Suns is just, Devin Booker and Kevin Durant are just amazing. The only thing that I feel like we've all talked about for before this series started and during this series is just how long can they sustain that. Granted, their bench definitely helped them in this last game. I think Shaman had 20 plus. Campaign coming off the bench. Starting in place of Chris Paul. They're getting, and I don't even know the guy's name, Landale. He's been giving them good rebounds off the bench in these last couple of games. So their bench is stepping up for them. Granted, KD and Book are doing a lot of the scoring, but their bench are realizing that they're going to have a lot of open opportunities, and they're actually making those opportunities count. So, and then on the other side, Joker is doing everything. As much as we talked about Jamal Murray in the first couple of games, I'm looking for that to come back again for him. They got to get back in rhythm. But again, it's a 3-game, series at this point, and they do have home court advantage. I expect this series and this game to be really, really good. And last but not least, I'm not gonna lie, I'm super surprised at how the Warriors are playing. The Lakers, we all know they have good players, especially after the trade deadline. We know what AD can be when he's on. I was probably one of the people that was very skeptical that he would stay healthy, and he has so far. Even though I joke with one of my friends as a Lakers fan, he wins this at least 5 times a game. At least 5 times you're going to get a good win out of him, and you get a little bit nervous if he's going to come out and not come back in. But he's been able to hold it together. LeBron has been doing what he needs to do. As he says, when he needs to, he's kind of pacing himself because, these minutes are getting up there for a 38 going on 39-year-old. And again, their others are also contributing. Austin Reeves, I think he had 21 in the last game. Of course, Lonnie Walker IV had a big fourth quarter for them last night. And, Vanderbilt is playing good defense. They're just kind of clicking at the right time. But I can never count the Warriors out. Being down 3-1, that's a lot. We've seen them do it before, but that was against an OKC team a while ago. And that is not the same team that they're playing now. So, we'll see. The Lakers have put themselves in a good position to kind of close this out. And because of the series with the Nuggets and the Suns, they might actually get some rest if they are able to close it out, because that Nuggets and Suns series looks like it could go the distance. So we'll see how it all shakes out.
Cardo?
Yeah, I'm going to start on the East side. The next Heat series, the Heat just a more mentally tough team. You can't even play for that team if you're not mentally tough. just to get on the court. It's some extreme training you have to do, as brought down by Pat Riley, which is why a lot of players don't go there. But you see the benefits of going through that extreme training. When you get later in the season, the playoffs, you still sharp, you still ready to go. And other guys are dragging. Outside of the Heat being mentally tough and Jimmy doing what he does, Bam and all those guys, they're bench. Kyle Lowry's coming off the bench, Caleb Martin. They're dominating the Knicks bench. I think the Knicks bench last game had like 10, 11 points. I'm looking at it now. Kyle Lowry had 15 by himself. He had 15, 5, and 4 off the bench in 25 minutes. So he outplayed the entire Knicks bench by himself and probably a couple starters or whatnot. Then you got Caleb Martin give you 10, 10 and 5 rebounds on 4 of 8. You know what I mean? They shot efficiently as well. Then Duncan Robinson, Cody Zeller, Haywood Highsmith coming in playing their roles. If you look throughout the playoffs, the difference game to game and city to city when they go to different cities has been the bench production. It seems like whichever bench shows up, that team usually wins, man. And that's why you're seeing, inconsistent play, so to speak, as far as which team is pulling things out, man. And the team that's more consistent from top to bottom, they up 3-1. And that's what you're seeing, man. Shaq always talk about it, the others, they're important. And you see that in this series with the Heat and Knicks. So, we're going to see how it goes. But with the way the Knicks look, they're just not mentally tough, man. And, it's like the slightest thing go wrong. And then, Julian's looking like he about to get 2 technicals and get kicked out the game. And, it's just like, bro, you can't be the guy. And when things don't go your way, you start tripping. You got to stay strong and just keep playing. It'll come back your way. And he's getting too old where it's like, all right, he young, he'll figure it out. Nah, man, he in his mid to late 20s now. It's past time for him to start acting like it. You know what I'm saying? That's why people kind of just giving the keys to Jalen Brunson, because he's been the one constant. And like Shaq always says, man, if you see the general don't panic, then the troops won't panic. They're staying strong, and that's what you're seeing in that series, and that's the difference. Even when Jimmy didn't play that one game, you still saw that he competing, standing strong. And they just managed to lose. They just came up a little short. You know what I mean? So that just tells you about the toughness of that team. With the 76ers and Celtics, for me, the Celtics is just disappointing. I think Missoula's outsmarting himself. Sometimes you just got to keep it simple. And Jaylen Brown and Tatum and Marcus Smart, all those guys, Derek White, who's on the first team, All-NBA defensive team. Now they got 2 of them. I don't want to see Al Horford at the end of the game or James Harden or Tobias Harris, none of that no more, dog. That's not even fair, bro. It's not fair when he's in his prime. They talking about LeBron being older than Al Horford, damn near the same age. He about 37, 38 himself. And you asking him to guard James Harden, man, like that's just not be on the island at that to prevent a game winner. That's just not fair. Why don't one of y'all step up and stop allowing the easy switch, man? Get over that damn screen. Like, I got this. Just move. Just move, dog. You know what I'm saying? Or Al Horford, open up so I can get to him. And y'all move the hell out the way. It's just me and him. You know what I'm saying? And may the best man win. I'd rather live with that. And, like Tatum, Octavia said, Tatum got to get better. He got to step up. And it's not even about hitting shots. I think his pace is a slow kind of pace, man. He's the one that messed up down the stretch when they finally got the ball across half court. The shot clock was down, man. Get the ball up, increase the pace. You got to increase it. I get it. You battling Tobias. Sometimes you switching on Embiid. Sometimes, at times it's Harden, Maxey. I get it. But it's the playoffs. It ain't nothing you ain't see last year dealing with the Warriors, man. You know what I'm saying? So you got to suck it up, man. And, it's not even just the offense. The defensive lapses like Jaylen Brown, dog, you got to know who you guarding. I know, Embiid got the switch once again, these dumbass switches. And Tatum had to guard Embiid. Hey, man, somebody else got to come on and help, dog. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to understand who you're dealing with. Like, Harden's been on this series. I'm not leaving him. I'm going to stand right here in that corner. And the thing is, Jaylen Brown covered ground. Like, he got out there, contested, but, you know what I'm saying? It's James, man. He done hit big shots before. You got to understand who you're dealing with. So certain guys, you just can't leave, and that just shows you how they're not connected defensively. And I think they got more underlying issues that's similar, like with the, free agency with Jaylen Brown. Some of the undertones he's been letting out as far as, I might be out, you know what I'm saying? So because And we've seen this before with Vince and T-Mac, man. It's kind of the same situation, man. T-Mac, like everything going catered to Vince. Everything's catering to Vince, man. I'm just as good. And that's honestly how he feel. And I'm not knocking, he is. You know, people just not understanding that, like Missoula sometimes put the ball in Jalen Brown's hand. You know what I'm saying? Switch it out. You know, he could deliver too. You see what I'm saying? And that's the situation they got fixed. They're gonna have to try to fix it. We got hindsight. We know how this gonna play out. They're gonna miss Jalen Brown if he rolled, though, you know, and Jalen Brown gonna miss them because more than likely, depending on where he gonna go to a bad team, and then it's all gonna be on him, and he gonna be sounding like T-Mac a few years later. I ain't got no help. You don't want to hear it, dog. You had Vince, you had the Davis, you had Antonio Davis, Oak, all them. You had them all. We don't want to hear that. You know what I'm saying? And that's what you wanted. Get them points and lose in the first round, deal with it. You know, so we don't want to hear that, man. But they got it's an interesting series, man. You know, so I see they fighting back or whatnot, but we're gonna see this. This is a pivotal game, man. I think whoever win this game gonna pull it out. Moving to the Nuggets and Suns, same thing. Like I said about the Heat and Knicks, Andrew Shaman stepped up, provided a boost. I think he had 16 off the bench last game. Jock Landale, Zach, DeAndre Ayton, boy. Jock Landale. Now, don't get it twisted. Jokic is torching both of them. Like, I want to say, like, he's fucking them up, like, bad. Don't get it twisted. But at least Jock Landale, like, dog, I'm bumping you. I'm gonna do something, man. Like, I'm gonna hit you, man. I'm gonna move. Like, he getting fouls. He like, I'm here at least, man. DeAndre Ayton just lost. That man just under the basket watching them battle for rebounds, and then when he get pulled, he's like, "What I do?" It's funny, but it's ridiculous, man. But that tells you how bad Jokic is destroying him. Like, he just out of whack. And he even said the post game, like, I gotta get my mind right. But the thing these youngers don't understand, when you get them 9-figure contracts, patience is gone. You either perform or we gonna be looking elsewhere. That's just how it is. It ain't sweet no more. And he's learning that. And he's also understanding why the Suns were hesitant to give him his money in the first place. Because Jock Landale shouldn't be putting up better numbers than you, and you the 9-figure dude. And this dude just barely made the roster. That's just not a good look, man. Meanwhile, KD and Book doing what I expect them to do in the playoffs. They going nuclear, pick your poison. And that pick and roll between them two, woof. I don't know what to do, man. Like, good luck with that one, dog. It's bad. And I love how they're not just relying on three-point shooting. They're killing in the mid-range to get to the free throw line. They're posting up to get to the basket. They getting theirs every which way, and it's making it very difficult for the Nuggets to key in on how to slow them down. And honestly, Chris Paul going down was a blessing in disguise because it unlocked Devin Booker's playmaking ability. So now, even if Chris Paul comes back, that's still something that Monty Williams can go to when he needs to disrupt things and keep the Nuggets off balance, man. For the Nuggets, it's simply their bench got to step up. Look, KD and Book they hard to guard, man. They're gonna get their numbers, but if their bench can't get outplayed by Landry Shaman alone and Jock Landale, it just Jokic is damn near matching KD and Booker by himself. Jamal Murray is giving you 28. The starters are kind of canceling each other out. It's coming down to the bench, and you got Shaman getting 16, and then you got Jock getting 8 or something like that, but then your bench is getting 9 altogether. That's the difference. You know what I'm saying? And also what we've seen in this series that the role players, whichever team is at home, their role players play better. You know what I'm saying? And if this keeps going the way it's been going, the Nuggets going to pull this out in 7. You know what I'm saying? So eventually somebody's going to have to travel. And, that's what we waiting to see. The Warriors and Lakers, Lord Jesus. This is the bad Warriors. This is why when Draymond and them get to talking like, yo, we probably the greatest team. We'll beat the Showtime Lakers, 96 Bulls. I'm like, no, y'all won't. KD covered up a lot of their sins. He did. And this is why when they try to discredit KD, I'm like, man, they were champions before you. You don't deserve it. Yes, he does. Because, see, these dudes, if you don't fold, they will feel the pressure. They will feel you still there. And then they just start throwing any shots, especially Clay. Like Clay, Lord, some of his shots, dog, that one shot late when it was won by half court on close to the sideline, he shot, And I'm just like, Clay, come on, man. You know better, dog. And then he did it again later with in front of Steve Kerr and Draymond. They like, it's 14 on the shot clock. We down one. What are you doing? Just shot. Those are, you might as well just gave the ball on LeBron and just ran back on defense. You said, why waste the energy, man? And that's what I mean by the Warriors, man. Like, they've literally lost championships because of bad shot selection and having overconfidence in their shooting ability, so to speak. You see what I'm saying? When they have these cold spells, when they run up against a tough, physical, grinded out defensive team like the Lakers have shown to be, and they get worn down, they start just running for the three-point line because those are bailout shots and taking hero shots. Whereas when they had KD, when they would get grinded down and had those spells, they could just get the ball KD, and KD hit a few like 4 in a row from mid-range, get to the free throw line, and it allowed them to get their breath and their energy back, and then Steph and Clay would come back and finish things off. And that's if the game is still in reach. Because normally their third quarter runs, the game was over. So, you don't have that luxury. Also, there's just the mental lapses down the stretch. It shows their lack of poise, which they've shown before. That's how the Cavs came back from 3-1 down in the finals. You know what I mean? They kept imploding, and that's what you're seeing. Jordan Poole's completely mentally. He's on his DeAndre Ayton. Matter of fact, he might be even worse because he ain't do nothing last night. And this also goes to show you the importance of being more than just a scorer, man. Like, he's a liability defensively, so if he ain't scoring, you can't even play him. And that really hurts your team because you don't have the same depth. Like, I had to go back and look at the championship roster last year. I don't think people understand that they're missing what's the name, Belicia, the other 6'10" center. He gave him minutes when Looney got tired or whatnot, and actually produced in spurts. Otto Porter was there with Wiggins hitting big threes. That's another 6'8", 6'9" wing that could defend and spray the floor and all that. Even the brother-in-law that's on Phoenix right now, Damian Lee. Yeah, it was key guys that's not there right now that they're missing. And it's ironic, the main player that they traded they could actually use right now, and he's in Detroit right now.
How about that?
Just be tall, helping the rebounds, dog. Just rebound out, baby. Easy baskets, offensive putbacks, and all that. You don't need to figure that out. Just do what you do naturally. You need that because you're small as hell, and that's why AD is feasting right now. And also, I'm looking at Steve Kerr. Man, you play for Phil Jackson and Pop, dog. They ain't wait too long for their stars to wake up when it was dire at this stage in the game. Hey, man, they went to whoever they felt can produce. Why don't you call Wiggins' numbers a little bit more than Clay? Because Clay can't dribble. It's known. I saw a play last night. He actually had an ISO situation on LeBron. LeBron was backed up. And you could tell he was trying to size with LeBron, and then LeBron realized who it was. He took away Clay airspace, and he did some bad reaching, like just reaching, and Clay just backed out, brought the ball right back out and passed it back out to Steph. He ain't want no parts of it. That's how I know the scouting report is he cannot handle the ball, and he can't. He needs somebody to set him up. That's what holds him back. That's why he be so quick trigger to just get a shot off, because he don't want people to know, like, it make it clear. If you know the game, you know he can't dribble. He can't create a shot. So really, you only out there with 2 shot creators, because Poole he done right now. He cooked. So like, I hope he find his way, but right now he's cooked. It's only Steph and Wiggins. You see what I'm saying? And when they came back, when they kept it close in the fourth, it was Steph and Wiggins making play, fast break. Just like, call Wiggins' numbers a little bit more. At least if he get a couple buckets, that's going to force the Lakers to have to pay attention to him. Now Clay can get off and get cleaner shots. Sometimes you ride it down with your crew a little bit too much, man. And he should know better. He played for Phil and Pop. And I remember in the finals in '92 where Phil, the starters weren't playing well. Jordan's missing easy shots and all that. He said the whole starting lineup. He just kept pimping in the game to be like a point forward. He brought the bench in. I mean, dog, he had Bobby Hansen in that joint who wasn't even playing, like the 11-12 man. And they literally cut the lead back in the fourth quarter when they thought, we going to game 7. And then obviously Mike does what he do. He got back in, and then they won the game. But the bench really brought them back. Sometimes you got to pull that trick, just like the Lakers did. Lonnie Walker, man, we can't score. Yeah, we need some athleticism to do something. And he delivered. You know what I'm saying? And and then the other thing I'm seeing is they also going at Steph late. They're attacking him. they basically saying offense is our best defense. We're gonna wear you down. So those shots come up short, like late in the game when Anthony Davis on them. And I gotta give Anthony Davis a ton of credit, man. The way he's strapping is off the charts. Like that game last night was beautiful to watch him defensively, man. Like, I mean, he was switching on Wiggins, on Steph. Draymond couldn't do nothing. Draymond thinking he lurking somewhere. He passing up countless open layups. I'm not even gonna get on him. You notice he don't hop on that podcast when they lose, though. You know what I'm saying? They need to be consistent. You say you don't run from it, be consistent, man. So he can't give that up, man. Not now. You don't have the same firepower. Jordan Poole's cooked. And you just have to identify what it is. Because right now it's looking like, Steph alone and maybe Wiggins need to demand the ball a little bit more. Because right now, honestly, Wiggins is doing a hell of a job defensively as best you can to contain the LeBron. I think the last two games, and keep in mind, these are at home, LeBron is 19 of 49 from the field, 3 of 17 from three. That's Wiggins' defense, man. Once again, quiet as kept, holding this dude up, you know what I'm saying? Like making him crazy inefficient, man. That's why these games been winnable. Hell, if LeBron was doing his usual efficiency, the game would be over. So I'm like, they gotta figure something out, man. They play Moses Moody. I like how his production when he's in the game. Hell, give him Jordan Poole minutes. Because Jordan Poole, bro, we ain't got time to wait on you, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like this playoffs, man. We just ain't got time. Like you got the bag, you get tough. You see what I'm saying? So yeah, that's my take from it, man. The Warriors, they gotta stop imploding. Your back's against the wall. You gotta show you that veteran championship caliber team that you believe you are and that we've seen, man. It can't always be when it's going your way. And it's ironic, the one player that understands how to beat you is actually working. And now the dangerous thing is the rest of the team has grown and starting to figure it out as well. That's why they're in trouble. But we'll see what happens, man.
Yeah, by the time we get back next week, we should be looking at the conference finals, or possibly some game sevens. It depends on what people choose to do. Everyone has an opportunity to change what things are at the moment. We're gonna take our first break. When we get back, Octavia has some NFC East. Provide you guys with the latest on DC United. Then we have a little bit of rapid fire before we end tonight's show. You're watching the Focus TV. We will return shortly. Welcome back to the Focus TV. As promised, Octavia, the floor is yours. It's the week after the draft. I expect it's not a ton to discuss. However, what do you have for us this week in NFC East?
Yeah, like you said, it's not a whole lot going on right now. Pretty much the biggest news going on in the NFL as a whole is the schedule release that is slated for this Thursday. They will be releasing pretty much, of course, know what teams that everybody is playing against, but they're looking for the actual schedules and dates. Wednesday, they will actually announce the international games. Again, they already know who's going to be playing in some of them, but there are some games in Germany, I believe, this year. Chiefs, Bears, some other teams that are going to be playing in these international games. So those are the biggest things that are coming out. But speaking of schedules, just to kind of talk about it, the crazy thing is last year in the NFC East, a lot of people talked about how weak their schedule was. Well, they cannot say that this year. The NFC East are all in the top 10 of the toughest schedules this year, with the Philadelphia Eagles having the toughest strength of schedule this year, with their opponents of the combined win total percentage of 0.566. The Cowboys are tied with the Giants for fourth, and the Commanders are eighth. So it's going to be a lot of competition in the NFC East this year when it comes down to these teams and who they are playing against. Excuse me. So it's going to be a really good season. Also, some of the things that are coming out about the actual schedules that's going to come out. There are going to be a Black Friday game this year. There is going to be a triple header on Christmas this year. And every team is no longer basically giving a primetime game this year. So there may be some teams that don't get any primetime games this year. As we all know, sometimes those Thursday night games are snooze fest. So that might not be the case this year. So there may actually be some teams that play multiple Thursday night games, which probably won't go over well with their franchise and their players not wanting to have multiple short weeks. Hopefully, they're far apart from each other within the schedule. But those are some of the new caveats coming out about the schedule. Of course, the release will be Thursday. They have all types of specials and stuff on all the networks that will go into depth about all of the schedules. Couple of things just to know for some of the teams in the NFC East, the New York Giants. I know we talked about Saquon Barkley not signing his franchise tag, and then we also talked about Dexter Lawrence, who was holding out as well. Well, Dexter Lawrence has now agreed to a contract extension with the New York Giants for a 4-year, $90 million extension with $60 million guaranteed, making him one of the highest paid defensive linemen in the league. I think they say he comes in right below Jeffrey Simmons. So he's able to kind of fall back in now. I'm sure he'll start showing up to organize team activities. But of course, they're still waiting on word from Saquon. The hope is that he is the next one in line to get his deal completed. One thing I found pretty interesting. So out of the 4 teams in NFC East, 2 teams have already had their rookie mini camps. That will be the New York Giants and the Philadelphia Eagles. The Washington Commanders and the Dallas Cowboys will have theirs this weekend. One thing I found kind of interesting is that the Giants actually hosted 5 veteran players at their mini rookie camp as somewhat of a tryout for them. Excuse me. So they had quarterback Bryce Perkins, who was a former Virginia star, who spent the last 3 seasons with the Rams. They also had cornerbacks Nigel Warrior, who used to play for the Baltimore Ravens and Seattle Seahawks, as well as Iman Marshall, who also played for Baltimore. Apparently, they both have ties to defensive coordinator Wink Martindale. And then outside linebacker Jonathan Kongbo, who played for San Francisco and Denver, and Daryl Johnson, who is actually an HBCU graduate from North Carolina A&T. He did get drafted by the Buffalo Bills. So they all came in as a tryout. I thought that was kind of interesting that they had some veteran players. I say veteran loosely because most of these players didn't get a lot of playing time with the teams that they were on. But they were there for a couple of years, so they are rightfully so-called veterans. But I thought that was kind of interesting that they had them come into their rookie minicamp. A couple of other notable things. Philadelphia Eagles, they release safety Andre Chichar, and he was playing today on waivers by the Arizona Cardinals. So I don't know, this whole Cardinal Philadelphia thing going back and forth a lot. It's a lot going on. I don't know, but that's a lot there. For Dallas, like I said, their rookie minicamp is going to be this weekend, May 12th through the 14th. And one notable thing that they were trying to figure out is because they did not draft a quarterback in the draft, so who is going to be throwing for them in their rookie minicamp? So they're giving a tryout to former Elon quarterback Matthew McKay, who completed 61% of his passes for 2,690 yards with 21 touchdowns and 4 interceptions in 2022. He also added 458 yards and 3 touchdowns on the ground. He attended North Carolina State and Montana State before he finished his college career at Elon, so he will be tapped as the quarterback to try out during their rookie minicamp. And last but not least, Washington Commanders. Again, their rookie minicamp is also this weekend, the 12th to the 14th. I always feel like a lot of times the news that we talk about with the Washington Commanders doesn't always have to do with actual stuff that's going on the field. It's a lot of stuff that's happening off the field. Right now, the Indianapolis Colts are requesting that the NFL review a situation that they claimed where the Washington Commanders reportedly reached out to former quarterback Andrew Luck about possibly coming out of retirement when they were in their search for a quarterback. Andrew Luck has denied that rumor, stated that he's never spoken with them. But there are some rumblings that there may have been a third-party situation where they tried to reach out to him. So who knows? You never put anything past the Washington Commanders. But as of now, I believe they have gone ahead and named Sam Howell as their starting quarterback. So maybe they just decided, let's just leave Andrew alone. Just go with Sam here. But again, not surprised. Hopefully, the next big thing that'll come out for them, again, outside of playing on the field, is that the sale is possibly coming up soon once they have their league meetings later at the end of this month. And the word is that it should be sometime around June 1st.
Yeah, the Commanders can't stay out the news no matter what's going on. Somehow find a way to inject themselves into it. As for DC United, it's all been positive the past couple of weeks. came to an end this week. 3-game win streak. Ruined by a familiar face, Luciano Acosta. This right here is called an Olympico. So he's taking the corner kick. You're not supposed to score. The kicker of the corner kick is not supposed to score on these. He did. It's very rare, but why not? It was a hell of a goal to open that game. It happened in the 59th minute to give FC Cincinnati a 1-0 lead. Acosta wasn't done, though. In the 72nd minute, he held the ball long enough to time the run for his teammate. Then delivered a really nice through ball to Alvaro Barrell, who fired a shot past the outstretched hand of DC United's keeper into the near post. Here's a pass right here, just perfectly timed, nice place pass, and a heck of a shot. Tough for DC United right here. They got caught in transition. No matter the sport, you're in transition, you don't get back, bad things happen. DC United didn't lay down after this. Obviously, they continue to fight back, but they didn't get on the board till stoppage time. Honestly, it was on a corner kick. Taxi Fountas would be the goal scorer. The loss is the first. Again, this is the first time they've lost in the last 3 games. So those 9 points that they got in that win streak definitely helped in the standings. So even though they lost, the win streak is over. They didn't fall too far in the standings. They're in 8th place as of now. They'll be facing 3rd place Nashville SC at home on Saturday. Also, currently, while we're recording this, they're in the second half of their match against the New York Red Bulls in the round of 32 of the Open Cup. And because of that, you would guess if you played on Saturday, there's a game on Tuesday and another game on Saturday. Obviously, the starters, that played in the league game wouldn't be playing tonight. This is when you lean on your depth a little bit. The folks who started tonight was you had Bono, Green, Ekamboni, Heinz Ike, which is great to see him start to work his back. Start to work his way back. So it's really good to see him in any capacity. Sargis, Dijon, a newcomer, Durkin. You got Hopkins, Fletcher, and Hurtado, another person. Another one of their newcomers who they snatched right before the transfer window closed. Again, there's Taxi getting the lone goal for DC United in that match. But again, they've had a really nice stretch. And it was Lewis O'Brien who took the corner. So credit to him for the assist. And we'll see how they respond this week. We're going to take a break. When we get back, going to see what Cardell has for us a rapid fire. You guys are watching the Focus TV. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the Focus TV. All right, Cardell, what you got for us this week in rapid fire?
Yeah, we're going to start on the NBA side. NBA all defensive teams were announced this afternoon. Half of the 10 players named to the first and second teams are making their first appearance on the teams. On the other hand, some well-known faces over the last few seasons did not make the list at all. Here's your all defensive first team: Drew Holiday, Alex Caruso, Brooke Lopez, Jaren Jackson Jr., and Evan Mobley. And for the second team is Derek White from the Celtics, Dylan Brooks, Bam Adebayo, Draymond Green, and OG Anunoby. Obviously, other people receiving votes that you probably would have thought you would have saw: Giannis, Jaden McDaniels, Marcus Smart, Mikal Bridges, Jimmy Butler, Joel Embiid, Herb Jones, Anthony Davis, Lou Dort, Jaylen Brown, Matisse Thybulle, Anthony Edwards, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Jared Allen, DeJounte Murray, Tyrese Halliburton, Paul George, DeAnthony Melton, DeLon Wright, Patrick Beverly, Desmond Bain, Scotty Barnes, Katie, Aaron Gordon, PJ Tucker, Walker, Kessler. All right, my question to you guys is, do you think the list is good, or do you feel someone should be on that list? And if so, who would you take off? Start with you, Octavian.
So, I feel like it's never right if Giannis isn't there. It kind of feels weird. I'll be the first person to admit I didn't watch many Chicago games this year, so I don't know how good Alex Caruso was. Granted, I know he's a guard versus forwards, but I mean, it's kind of hard. I mean, I don't have an issue with it. I'm sure there could be, changes. I mean, Jared Jackson Jr., of course, Defensive Player of the Year. Drew Holiday. I mean, Brooke Lopez had a really good year this year as well. Maybe Evan Mobley, but I think he had a good year as well. So that's what I say. It's really kind of like it's really hard to pick. You always going to leave somebody off. I mean, at least second team. I could probably see Giannis in there over. If I had to pick, it'd be Draymond, to be honest. But yeah, I mean, I'm not mad at it, but I'm sure there's definitely some finagling that could have happened that would change a lot of these places.
Ray.
The one glaring omission to me is Jaden McDaniels. Yeah, I would slide him in. Just you can honestly take your pick between Draymond and OG. Like Draymond, like we know what he's capable of defensively. And not to say he doesn't deserve it, but he probably made it off reputation, to be perfectly honest, because the times he did play, up to his normal standard on defense, and like what Octavia was just saying about Giannis, is just kind of weird to not see him there. Like you're gonna be voting Draymond all defensive team, like, but I mean you still got to earn it to a certain degree, but like it's hard for me to really get up in arms about these lists because it's limited spots and there's more people deserving than the people that are on the list. So I usually don't really make a big stink about it, but I think what Jaden McDaniels did during the season defensively, I feel like he did deserve to be named.
Wilson.
Yeah, it's incredibly tough, for sure. But I'm definitely pro McDaniels. Feel like he should be on this list. Did AD not qualify? And I'm just honestly asking.
Games. Well,
Yeah.
you got votes. You got votes. So
okay, so I was just asking because I know sometimes that comes into play, but he's kind of been the one constant like that. Everything they do on defense is it's around him. It's built around him. So, just again, just throwing it out there. And then Brooke, hell of a year. Yeah, I don't get AD, Giannis, or McDaniel. But again, kudos to everybody who made it, and I'm gonna mind my business. But yeah, that's tough for me. It's hard for me not seeing those three.
Yeah, I just assume AD didn't qualify. That's crazy if he qualified and still didn't. Yeah, that's why I just leave it alone most of the time, man.
Like if my thing is I gotta check, but if he didn't qualify, why
he shouldn't get votes, right?
Why did he get votes? Yeah, and
right.
You see us, and where he at? Yeah, he got 9 votes.
Yeah.
If he was eligible and didn't make it, that's crazy.
So maybe because he got hurt during that stretch. I don't know, man. Whoever, yeah. Some of these voters, we know what's up. For me, and no bias, whatever, because of the ties to the team, but Jaden McDaniels, man, like he hunts, like he hunts the other team top dude, like hunts him, like that's me. Y'all figure it out, the other 4, but whoever the leader, that's me. I mean, he in the press talking about, I can't wait to play against KD in the playoffs, and then he broke his hand, but still, who gonna say that? That's a different animal, man. I know people like, well, if you're gonna put him on, who you gonna take off? Man, with all due respect, Derek White got to go. I'm just giving him a buck. Not saying he don't strap, he got to go. Because I'm looking at the defensive rating on that team, and he 13th on the Celtics. So you know what I mean? Like, how you gonna be among the top 10 in the league now? And then also, you know, the position, you gotta have 2 guards, 2 forwards, and I don't like that, man. Who's strapping? So, like, if the top 10 defenders in the league were centers, have nothing but centers on there. You see what I'm
Facts.
saying? It's just that's one of them things you got to reward the players getting it done and give it to them, man. And it's easy to see. I don't even think people know how to identify real defense anymore. I'm talking about the reporters that vote. They just don't have a clue what that looks like anymore. They look at stats and metrics and stuff like that. But that may not be it, because those guys, sometimes these guys that strap, they're going to get scored on because they're going against the killers night in and night out. So it's going to look worse than somebody hiding out on a non-offensive threat. You know what I mean? So you know the guys that strap, because they always trying to get a screen to get these dudes up off of them. See what I'm saying? So you know who they are, man. But yeah, definitely him. You know, obviously you can throw Giannis out there, but I'm not knocking it. But yeah, Draymond didn't have a Draymond. Yeah, it's just we ain't even going front like he did. Nah. You know, otherwise the Warriors would have been better and wouldn't have been so up and down all year if he did. Let's just keep it up. You know what I'm saying? That's, you know, he had moments, but he was pacing himself, and we know that. OG, he was strapping. You know, obviously Dylan Brooks did, but the antics kind of messed him up a little bit. But you know, he did what he's supposed to do. Brook Lopez for most of the year was like leading the league in blocks. And then Jaren Jackson just caught him at the end and passed him. And Alex Caruso, we've seen it up close, man. Oh man, I know the Wizards hate playing against that dude, man. He loved the Wizards. I don't know like he guard everybody, man. So I'm not knocking, but Jaden McDaniels definitely need to be up there. We all know AD one of the best, but for whatever reason, I got to dig some more. I'm just thinking the games he missed may have messed him up, so to speak. Moving along to the NFL side of things, former San Diego State and Bills punter Matt Ariza was not present during a 2021 gang rape, according to a statement from prosecutors in their transcript of audio from the San Diego District's Attorney Office obtained by ESPN and Yahoo Sports. Ariza, an All-American 21 and 6th-round pick in the 2022 draft, was released by Buffalo on August 27th after reports emerged that he had been named as a defendant in a gang rape lawsuit. The lawsuit alleged that Ariza and 2 teammates gang raped a girl who was 17 at the time at an off-campus party near San Diego State University campus in the fall of 2021. The age of consent in California is 18. According to a transcript, San Diego Deputy District Attorney Trisha Arnador told the girl that her timeline did not line up with the evidence available to prosecutors. Reyes wasn't even at the party anymore. Armador said at prosecutor's determination that the incident occurred at 1:30 a.m., an hour after Reza had apparently left the premises, according to a witness. The plaintiff's attorney, Dan Gillian, told various news outlets that the witness is a friend of Reza. Arnador informed the girl that she cannot prove any forcible sexual assault based upon what happened, and taking into account evidence available to prosecutors, including videos of the encounter. The San Diego Police Department investigation concluded in December, and the district attorney's office subsequently declined to press charges. Gillian said that his client won't be willing to drop the lawsuit. In a statement to Fox News, it's not going to happen. Gillian said this case is going to trial and will force Ariza to talk. Just thought on this new revelation in this case. We'll start with you, Ray.
Yeah, I mean, these things are always tough. I mean, just if she's determined that she's telling the truth, then just let it rock out. You know, like we being perfectly transparent, we know how these things go sometimes with people finagling things. Yeah, and if he's guilty of this, hopefully the truth comes out and he pays for it. You know, so, and on the other hand, if this is drummed up, then, you know, then she should face consequences. But I'm not here to pass judgment. You know, I just hope that he didn't have anything to do with this, because that's one of the most horrible acts you can do. But yeah, either way, hopefully the truth comes out at some point. And yeah, and if there is some type of intimidation or something going on, I just pray for the young lady and hope that her legal team can get some measure of justice.
Wilson.
Yeah, I'm with Ray. I hope that they do get to the bottom of this. As usual, with things, obviously, is you never know exactly what something is. Obviously, I saw a lot of people the other day were like, oh well, they have some on video and he wasn't there, and I would just I'm part of the group that let it all play out. We'll see what happens. If it's really nothing, it'll come to light. If it's the opposite of nothing, deserve to be under the jail. And if I'm also one of the people that's if it was in fact nothing, then both parties need to be held accountable, whichever way it turns out. If he did that unspeakable act, he needs to be held accountable. If it turns out that he didn't and this wasn't what it appears to be, she needs to be held accountable.
I'll tell you.
Yeah, I'm with both you guys. I think that these situations are always so tough because it's hard to try to take a side because none of us were there and nobody really knows what really happened. We're all kind of just going off of he say, she say, to be completely honest. I didn't hear that one part that they said that the witnesses, I did hear about this earlier, that they said that he wasn't even there, but then I didn't realize that the witness that said that is somebody that's affiliated with him. So that always leaves it up in the air as to draw your own conclusion. Is this person, telling the truth or they not telling the truth? But yeah, I definitely agree that they need to just, at this point, it's been in the media, it's been out there for so long. They need to just do their due diligence and just get to the bottom of it completely. I don't think there should be any dismissals of anything. Like it needs to be investigated and to figure out if it's a credible allegation. And I'm 100% with you guys. If it comes out that he was a part of it and that he is guilty of what this young lady is saying that he did, he definitely under the jail, throw away the key. He needs to never see the light of day again. But if it is the opposite way, as we've seen, and I will always be the first person to tell you, I do think that sometimes women, manipulate and they play these games and they put these men and professionals, aspects in tough situations. If it does come out that, she either fabricated it or whatever the situation is, she should also be held accountable for that situation as well. And I also think he should be able to try to get his life back because he was a very good punter, apparently, in the league. And that whole situation ended his career before he even really got started. So if that is something that happened and that he was not a part of and that it was completely a fabrication, I definitely hope that, he's able to get a second chance in the league. But again, I feel like even, people in the courtroom get it wrong at times. So it's always going to be hard to really kind of figure it out. But I just hope that both parties are, telling the truth and what they're saying and they come to some resolution that can be, something that will help both parties. Honestly, it's just a sad situation, for both people to be involved in.
Yeah, like y'all, I just feel like let it play out, see what the facts are, and yeah, the details say that he raped him. Finish him, life or whatever law is present in California for that type of act. Get the fullest extent of it. My thing is this: to stop all these women from lying, they should get the same penalty, and they will pause all the women that lie. Yeah, you get the same penalty. If it's life, you gonna get that too. And then I'm pretty sure you will see a lot of lying cut down. Not saying she is, but I'm just saying future reference because, like it was a guy named Brian Banks, who was like one of the top football players in the country. and he had his life his life interrupted because the girl lied and said he did something. They come to find out he didn't. And he was a big time prospect. Like the NFL was pretty much waiting on him. Just go to college, do what you do, be ready when you get done. And he never got a chance to do that. But Roger Goodell hired him in the league office to kind of, in a sense, mentor players about situations like that. Players that may have been jammed up and dealt with legal issues or something. They trying to find their footing because he essentially did that. That's an example of why this story needs to kind of still be checked on and stuff, man. Because like you said, it's hard as hell to be a professional athlete, man. My life been wiped away because you lying. You see what I'm saying? And that's just not right. But then, in a sense, if he did do it, like I said, you know better, man. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you were a football player on any college campus, man. You big man on campus, man. You in a sense, man, like you don't have no problem attracting girls. You know what I'm saying? They come to you. So why would you even do that? So bottom line is either way, whichever party is wrong, finish them. That's just where I stand with it. Last question. It's been an ugly week in sports. West Virginia men's basketball coach Bob Huggins made anti-LGBTQ comments directed at Xavier basketball fans during a recent radio appearance. Being the audio clip from Awful announcing, Huggins used an anti-LGBTQ slur when referring to Musketeers fans during a sit-down on the Bill Cunningham show on 700 WLW, prompting laughter from the show host. Quote, I tell you what, any school that can throw rubber penises on the floor and then say they didn't do it, by God, they can get away with anything, Huggins said. After one of the show's hosts asked whether that occurred on transgender night, Huggins responded saying it was the Crosstown shootout. What it was all those F words. Y'all can figure it out. Those Catholic F words, they were envious they didn't have one. The Crosstown shootout is the annual college basketball rivalry game between Xavier and Cincinnati. There was a brief pause after Huggins' remarks, but the host then began laughing. Cunningham even chimed in and called the 69-year-old coach the best. Huggins issued a statement Monday afternoon in which he apologized for his comments during his radio appearance. I used a completely insensitive and abhorrent phrase that there is simply no excuse for, and I won't try to make one here. I deeply apologize to the individuals I have offended, as well as to the Xavier University community, the University of Cincinnati, and the University of West Virginia. Huggins wrote in part of his statement. Wilson, what are your thoughts on another coach putting his foot in his mouth?
Just don't say stuff. Like, just don't talk. Like, you're too old and you've been around forever. But just walk away from it. Like, you searched your way into trouble. You could have next topic. Like, I don't even understand how you got there, Bob. Like, for real, I need directions on how you ended up to saying this. And then the cleanup, one, it's not cleanup. Two, you're just too old. You know better. Like, you're not a first-time head coach. You started over like several times. Like, this is ridiculous for somebody that age. Like, you know better. And then I hope the show host or whatever understands what they did by laughing. Like, you know it's coming your way. Like, I don't know if you thought, like, if Bob gets fired, Bob's gonna be all right. He'll take an L, but he's been coaching for many years. He's not cheap. He'll be okay. You, on the other hand, man, if they got somebody at the ready to take your slot, it's probably gone.
What happened to them boys?
Man, that's an expensive laugh. You out of there.
Cue the clips.
Man. You might as well hope Bob starts a podcast and you're the producer because you're out of there too. But yeah, Bob, how did you? I still don't understand how you found your way here. Like, this took work. Like, you earned this. And again, I'm laughing because I just don't understand how someone. The train of thought's ridiculous to get there. Then how old he is, I'm not getting past that. And then two, it just shouldn't be that hard not to say something insensitive. It just really shouldn't be that difficult, especially when it feels like you worked to say it. And look, y'all go ahead.
Right.
at this point, man, whenever people do stuff like this, first of all, keep your apology. Like it's not going to save you. You meant to do it. Like keep your apology, dog. It's just stupid. Like Wilson said, man, it's completely avoidable. Like I just don't understand, man. Like why is that? Why are you even like going that route on a radio show? And like I don't say anything hateful, but like if I'm in a group chat with my buddies, I'll call outside the lines a little bit, but I ain't going that hard. But even then, there's stuff I'll say in a group chat that I will never say in front of people. That's how it is for everybody. Like, but I have enough wherewithal to not say those things in public. You do it because you're comfortable and you feel like you can get away with it. Point blank, plain and simple. There's no other explanation. I don't know Bob Huggins. I've heard great things about him, but yeah, dude, you can't say that. I don't care how many players love you, how much success you had on the sidelines, or none of that stuff. Dog, just you got to be better than that, man. Like, and then like it's 2023, dude, and we still doing that. Like, you haven't learned yet. Even if you mean it from the bottom of your heart, you don't value your job enough to not slip up like that. Yeah, it's foolish, man. DJ in that pick, like, yeah, dog, he up out of here.
Yeah, get your man, DJ. Talk to your man, dog. He like, I just got the job too. Damn, I was chilling at Cincinnati. Damn, man. Octavia's on you.
Yeah, what baffles me is just how much these people need media training. Like, it's just wild. Like, there's a certain way to act when you're in an interview, and I don't know if people get it misconstrued when it comes, down to, the settings. Maybe he felt real comfortable with this person, thought they were just shooting the breeze. But it's an interview, people are going to listen. Well, you hope people are going to listen. It's just ridiculous. Like, I don't understand. Like Ray said, like, there are certain things that you just don't say, especially because we know how, whether it's right or wrong, we know how cancel culture is. We know what it is at this point in day in 2023. Any little thing that you say can be scrutinized and held against you. And that's when you say something maybe that's just not politically correct. But when you say derogatory things about people, it's just up from there. Like, it's like they're gonna be on your neck. Like, I don't understand how we don't know that at this point. And there are cameras everywhere, there's recordings like, it's always a thing. So I don't feel sorry for him. Like Ray said, you meant to say it, that's probably how you feel, which is fine. I feel like everybody is entitled to feel the way that they feel. But you also are going to be held responsible and held accountable for your actions. And that's where he's probably at right now. I'll be interested to see how they handle the situation. But unfortunately, I'm not surprised. This probably won't be the last person to put their foot in their mouth.
Yeah. Oh, man. Yeah, that's crazy. Rubber penises, God. You ain't even have to say that. You ain't even have to say that, though. Like,
why was that even a thing?
I didn't even know they did that. That's crazy. You ain't even have to say that. You could have been like, man, Xavier, that's a wild place, man. I enjoy beating them and kept it moving. And like Ray said, go ahead, you should say. And like Ray said, yeah, we all got group chats with different people. It can get hardcore in there. You know what I'm saying? But you gotta be smart enough to know you can't say that out in the public. Even though I be thinking it, it's a lot of deleting going on social media, dog. I'm like, man, woo, but oh man, but come on, man, all seriousness, man, he the leader of a program, leader of young men. You're supposed to be setting an example. I know through basketball is the main thing, but through basketball, you're supposed to be teaching young men. that's why he had to apologize. You can't be like, F it. I meant what I said. F them, F words and all that. They could take them rubber penises and go that, and you can't go that hard. I'm pretty sure the stories I heard, he got that temperament, but he had to apologize and own it, man. But it was just unnecessary to get pulled into that, you know what I mean? Because it's not helping anything. You're trying to get West Virginia back to prominence, up there battling the Kansas and the Big 12 and whatnot. It's going to impact recruiting because now parents are like, think about they got a transgender child or something or whatnot, whatever have you. They're not going to rock with you. What if the players have people that they rock with? One of your players may be on the down low. You don't know. You know what I'm saying? Now I'm out. And it's just weird. It's just creating drama where there was unnecessary to begin with, man. Because and I call it the camera courage, man. That microphone, man, is a drug sometimes when you ain't careful. Even when as experienced as Bob Huggins, man, you get comfortable, you get to talk, and they just come out. You know what I'm saying? You like, damn, what? And you gotta be careful. And even when the interviewer is trying to pull you in, you gotta be smart enough to be like, nah, come on, dog, we ain't going there. Xavier's a tough place to play. I enjoy beating them, and just rile them up like that. You know what I'm saying? You just keep it moving, man. But yeah, this gonna be a tough one because they ain't gonna let this go for a minute. Even if he does maintain West Virginia, they're gonna hear it all season. So I hope he win a lot of games, man, because that storm ain't going away no time soon.
All right, before we close out, look, we're getting closer and closer to WNBA preseason at the moment. I had missed media day last week and whatnot. The regular season opener is May 19th, I believe, so looking forward to that. We'll have some content along the way, but it's something Cardell came up with, so we're going to share this real quick for you all. This is to help you guys keep track of what's going to be going on this year as we cover the missings between Raymond, Cardell, and myself. We're happy another season's begun. We're looking forward to it. So for all of our Washington Misses content, all you got to do, see the QR code. Just scan the QR logo on the flyer each and every day. There's a lot of Mystics content on the way, and it's the quickest way to see it. It's going to take you right to where you need to go. You don't have to wonder when it happens. It's that simple. And, we all know folks are on their phones all the time anyway. So now you don't have an excuse not to find your way to the website to get the Mystics content. It'll do it for you. It's that simple. All right, and as a reminder, you guys already know how this goes. Wednesdays, 9 a.m. Shows up on our Roku channel. You have a Roku television or device. All you have to do is type in the search box the Focus TV, double tap OK on a remote, and the channel is added. If you're watching in the DC area, well, in the city, or you're close enough to have access to your DC TV, as far as them being in your local listings, 10 p.m. on Fridays, Saturday at 4:30 p.m. If you're outside the city limits, you can just go to dctv.org and watch it right on their site. It's really simple. Again, enjoy the playoffs, enjoy the week. We'll see you guys next week, and I'm sure we'll have lots more to discuss. Y'all have a good one.